Yeah, you're watching how confidence, Cold War paranoia, and some wild assumptions led straight to the Bay of Pigs. It's the late 1950s. The Cold War is cooking. America's scanning the globe like, who's communist today? Then Cuba flips. Fidel Castro takes power in 1959, kicks out the old government, and starts nationalizing U.S.-owned businesses. Washington's reaction? Oh, cool. So there's a communist-aligned country 90 miles from Florida. Love that. So the CIA steps in with a plan they swear is genius. The pitch goes like this. Train Cuban exiles who fled Castro, send them back to Cuba. They land, start a revolt. The Cuban people join in. Castro's gone. U.S. shrugs and says, wild how that happened. This plan assumes one major thing. That Castro is wildly unpopular and Cubans are just waiting for a spark. That assumption, not accurate. Now enter John F. Kennedy. New president, young, trying not to kick off World War III in his first few months on the job. He inherits this plan and says, okay, but let's keep it quiet. So he cuts back air support, refuses to send U.S. ground troops, demands plausible deniability. Translation, we want this to work, but also don't want to look involved if it doesn't. That choice turns out to be important. This is where everything goes off the rails immediately. April 17th, 1961. The Bay of Pigs invasion begins. About 1,400 Cuban exiles land on Cuba's southern coast, and almost instantly, Cuban forces already know. The element of surprise is gone. Air support is limited. Supply ships get taken out, also no uprising. No crowds joining in. Just silence and incoming fire. The fighters radio for help like, hey, this is not going how the PowerPoint said it would. And Kennedy hesitates. He's worried that more airstrikes or troops will expose U.S. involvement and escalate the conflict. So he holds back. No Marines, no extra air cover, no rescue plan. Within 72 hours, it's over. Roughly 100 invaders are killed. Over 100 are captured. Castro parades the prisoners on TV like receipts, then later trades them back to the U.S. for food and medical supplies, which is about as humiliating as diplomacy gets. But the embarrassment is only part of the damage. This failure locks Castro more firmly into power, pushes Cuba closer to the Soviet Union, shows the world that the U.S. can miscalculate badly, and here's the big one. Castro becomes convinced the U.S. will try again. So when the Soviets offer protection in the form of nuclear missiles the next year, he says yes. That decision leads straight to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy? He's not the same guy anymore. After Bay of Pigs, he questions his advisors more, slows down decision-making, becomes way more cautious with military force. Some historians argue that getting humbled here is exactly why nuclear war didn't yet happen later. So here is the question that still gets people arguing. If the Bay of Pigs had actually worked and America felt untouchable, would that confidence have kept the Cold War cooler? Or made someone pull the nuclear trigger faster?